Welcome to Let Freedom Ring. This show is dedicated to the memory of Kevin Muite, good friend of mine going back years. Hadn't seen him in a while. He recently passed away, but this one's for Kevin. Big shout out to the New England Free Jacks. 6-1, baby. We're in first place. But my guest this week, and I'm sorry, we have security here as well, as usual. But my guest this week, Kyle Kaplan. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Dan. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You're the president of the Franklin Softball League, and but let's get to know you a little bit. Where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
So I was born in Fort Lauderdale. Parents moved me up early age. Spent most of my time in Hudson, New Hampshire, and Wakefield, Mass. Kind of split my youth there. Did a short stint in Nashua. Then moved up to Laconia in Franklin area. I don't know, 16, 17 years ago now.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Awesome. And we talked about this. We're talking this in Messenger or whatever. But you did go to the Boys and Girls Club for a little bit?
In Nashua, yeah.
Yeah, I was Boys and Girls Club kid too, so I saw that and I was like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was good times. I mean, I have fond memories of it. Like I said, my stint in Nashua was pretty short, but I always enjoyed going there. It's a good time.
Yeah, awesome. And what's 3 things that everybody should know about you?
Oh, all right. Well, I love my family. I'm very family orientated. Beautiful wife, Carrie, my son, Harrison, and daughter, Courtney. I'm kind of a prickly person when you first get to meet me. A lot of people take me wrong that don't know me. I'm that person that you kind of got to get used to. I'm kind of a smart aleck. Like big brother type. I like to joke around and kind of pick at people a little bit, but all in good fun. And then something else. I love coaching. I've been coaching for a long time now. I started back in Hudson, took some years off till I had kids, and then I've been pretty much coaching since they were little babies. So
awesome. And you're coaching basketball right now?
Right now I'm coaching baseball.
Okay.
I pretty much coach year round, baseball, basketball, football. But yeah, right now it's baseball. We just started up a couple weeks ago. Still indoors. It's miserable, but looking forward to getting outside with the kids and having a good season.
Awesome. I mean, I coached wrestling for numerous amount of years, but I don't do it now. But I will say it's one of the most rewarding things that you can do.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, it's fun. I mean, it's kind of a love-hate relationship at times, especially with basketball with me. For some reason, basketball brings out the, and that's not even as a kid. Baseball was more my sport. I mean, I liked basketball, but yeah, it's like a love-hate with basketball. But I mean, it's great. I mean, you're not molding kids, but you do. You get them from a really young age, and you get to see them grow up. And I just coached the middle school girls basketball team, and this will be the last time that I had that core group of girls together. And it was kind of emotional. It's like I've known them for so long, and now some of them are going to be going to different high schools, and yeah. But I definitely enjoy it. It's definitely fulfilling and it's fun.
I like that, and we need coaches.
Oh yeah,
that's so important. I think
Yeah. I mean, it's like any volunteer work. It's tough to get people. I mean, obviously now the school job's paid, but for years I did rec and still helped coach Babe Ruth. But it's tough. I mean, everybody's so busy, and some people are afraid to kind of take the leap because they may not know a ton about it. But yeah, I mean, coaches definitely need them. Definitely need them.
Was it tough during the pandemic and everything? I couldn't I would watch. I'd see photos of people wearing masks, playing basketball, wrestling, or whatever. How was that?
Mind-numbing. It's tough. My daughter was somebody that she's very high energy and runs a lot. But wearing that mask in basketball and playing back-to-back games for AAU, I mean, there were times where her face would get so overheated and flush, and and it's weird. Some schools would make it mandatory that you wear a mask in their building to play on the court, but then they would be in your building the next night playing you with no masks on in their building. So it just, I mean, it was weird, and it just, and nobody knows what's right or wrong.
Yeah.
But it was challenging, having extra stuff to bring around, hand sanitizer, and really policing the kids to make sure they were wearing masks and everybody was being as safe as we thought we could be. It was a challenge.
No, I can imagine. I just, it's been crazy. Like looking at the photos, being like, if I were a kid, I couldn't imagine having to do that. So.
And the no handshakes after the games and stuff. I mean, some schools you could do elbow bumps but that was more like the last year, like the first year, the towns that were participating, it was like zero contact, like you stay on your side of the court, we'll stay on ours type of thing. And even in baseball, it was weird. It's like, you're outside, you're in the outfield, there's nobody near you, and you're wearing a mask.
Yeah.
So it was definitely, it was a strange time, I'll say that.
No doubt about it. This has been, obviously the last 2 years have been the strangest times ever. At least for our lifetime. Now, stick with the theme of the show, which is Let Freedom Ring, and we ask everybody this, and it means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. But what does it mean to you to be an American?
That is a very loaded question, Dan, and I'm not sure I like you anymore after that. No, I would honestly, because of time, I would kind of equate it to a child. Like, you love your kid unconditionally. You would, die protecting that child. You want your kids to be successful in life. You want to give them the benefit of the doubt. But at the same time, I think it's about having tough conversations. It's about not putting up your blinders. If you did something wrong, admitting it and having that tough conversation. Like, how do we move forward? How do we become better? And then it's everything else. It's, the Constitution and trying to live, by that and uphold that, supporting troops and police officers. But again, it comes down to, if somebody's in the wrong, we have to have that discussion. And so that's what it is to me. And, again, where else would you want to live? Regardless of the times that we're going through. I know they're tough, and whether it's COVID or gas prices or the president or whatever the political agenda is at that time, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
No, good answer. I mean, I have to say, I had Vinny Laurie on the live stream the other day. He lives he's an American, but he lives in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And we bring up this question, and he literally had to really think about what he was saying, because you don't know what the government there is going to see and what they're going to do.
Right.
We are allowed to say what we want without fear of consequences from the government.
Right.
If there's consequences online, that's one thing. But we're not worried about, like, hey, Kyle, you said this, we're coming to your house, we're taking you. Like,
you're going to go spend a couple of years in a nice small jail cell.
Yeah.
No.
So, no, that's a great answer. I love that. We want to get into it. So you are the league president of the Franklin Softball League, Co-ed Softball League.
Yep.
I know you guys have seen a lot of growth. How did that start?
Honestly, on a whim. I had thought about, it originally a little bit here and there. Bringing something to Franklin that would give adults something to do. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. And Franklin for a while had a bad rap. So it's, what could I bring to the town, bring to the table that would, bring people together, have some fun. So that's kind of how it started in my mind originally. But at that point it was just an idea. And then I was actually playing with Rich. We were down at a field, actually out of respect for their league and their field, I won't say, but we were at a field, and like, it was terrible. Like, the city has other nice fields, but this field was just absolutely miserable. And after the game I had said, dude, I'm starting my own thing. Like, I'm not driving for this.
Yeah.
And a little bit something different, not the same type of league that I had seen. I had actually taken like 15 or 16 years off from playing. I hadn't played since Hudson.
Okay.
I had a customer ask me to go play in the Ashland League. Went up there, had some fun in Ashland. They joined another league the next year, and I joined with them. And there's just some things I didn't like. And then again, that field was just like, I'm not driving 45 minutes to play on this. And 5 days later, I had like everything in place to go, and not even within a month, we started the league. So.
No, that's all. I'm trying to think of even where they played in Ashland, because I went to Plymouth State, so I've been in Ashland quite a bit.
So Ashland's field's not bad. It's a nice field. It's down. So if you get off the highway, you take a right going towards the lake. It's right down that hill. There's a playground, and there's a baseball field and a softball field. And right now, I think there's a Dollar General across the street.
Okay.
So it's across from that. And yeah, I mean, that was a good time, and that field was nice. But like I said, it was just when we were playing in that other league, it was like,
It's such a gorgeous area. Oh my goodness, I have to say that. Now, so basically, I think you answered this. How'd you become president? This was your idea. This was kind of like your thing that you started.
Yeah. So I mean, that's pretty much the way it was. And I asked Rich originally if he wanted to be part of it. And we had bounced some things off, but I didn't have enough time. Like if we wanted to get it up and going, like I didn't know what it was going to take. Like I had no idea what I was getting into. But there was, starting a business, because you have to have a business bank account, and you have to register with the state, and you have to be able to get insurance. And so there was a lot of different things that had to come together quick. And I didn't really have time to seek outside counsel or question other people to how they did it. And Franklin, I mean, Crystal at the rec center, a really good relationship with her. She's been awesome to us. From her side of things, she made it happen for field time. And then after that first year, we were able to kind of breathe, kind of get together for some meetings, and kind of look towards the future from there.
Awesome. No, that's really cool that you did that, because I like it. I've said this on the show. We've talked about it a lot. We want to see expansion in the state of New Hampshire with softball. And I remember I'm good friends with Rich, and I remember him saying, and I said, "That's awesome. That's awesome. You guys are starting to lead there." You've seen a lot of growth. Like, how has the growth been the last couple of years? Because did this start in 2019? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So. First year comes along, we had 5 teams. We could have had 6. We didn't do a draft or anything. It was really, for me, again, I hadn't been around the game or people for a long time. It was really pretty much saying, okay, these people requested to play together. We'll put them together. We'll get the teams, set up this way. And that kind of backfired for me, and just there was a little bit of level of aggravation behind it. Like people thought I had like stacked a team, and I'm like, I don't even know these people. And then like we got the Borellis over here, all 3 of them, and they're on a team with, so that's kind of how the draft was birthed. But, from that standpoint, we started with 5 teams. We probably could have had 6 that year. We capped it the next year at 6. Last year we brought on 8. And then this year we went to 9, but I mean, we filled the league in 7 days.
Oh, wow.
We had a couple drop out the other day, and, within an hour, I mean, those spots were filled. I think there's a wait list right now of like 22 people. So we could be bigger. We just don't have right now it'd be nice to have another field in Franklin. Like I would long-term goal, I would love to see that happen for the town. You get a lot of people sharing 1 to 2 fields, and that other field we can't play on because it's too small. So, but yeah, definitely growth. Each year we haven't really had a lot of trouble getting sponsors. This year has been a little bit slower, but I think it's been slower because the league filled so quick. Like the past couple of years, we've given them more time, and we had 3 months to collect sponsors. Now we're trying to do it to get the new jerseys and full sublimation and stuff like that.
So you guys get a lot of sponsorship. Is that keeping like the league fees down, like per player, or?
I'd love to say yes. This year we ended up going up on league fees. I mean, we did kind of vote throughout the page and let people kind of voice their opinion on, do we want to stay with a T-shirt with just a a regular logo on it, silkscreen, or did we want to reach out to a sublimation company and go full sub? And it was pretty much a resounding full sub. Sponsored costs we've tried to keep just as low, because I've looked at some other leagues over the past couple of years where they charge $700-800, and it seems like they struggle a little bit if like their team coach isn't bringing the sponsor with them. So we've kept it reasonable. We've kept it at $300 for sponsors.
Okay.
League sponsors a little bit more expensive, and then we have a Snack Shack sponsor.
So you guys have a concession stand there too?
We do.
Wow.
Yes.
I don't know. I need to join this league.
Where I had referenced I wanted it to be a little bit different. I wanted to kind of let people step back into being a kid. Like for that night, you can jump on the field. You have your intro with your name. You have your walkout music. You have the concession stand if your family does come down and watch. And over the past couple of years, I mean, we've seen a lot of people in the town come down and to catch games. I think that's kind of how we've recruited people to come play, is they come watch their friend play and they hang out. And so yeah, we have a concession stand. We don't run a grill, but we have we do steamed hot dogs, we do walking tacos, we do last year we did pulled pork sandwiches, which were a pretty big hit. John Perry. Meatball subs, stuff like that. And again, we've kept the prices on that like really reasonable, so that again, a family can come down and eat and watch their parents play or whatever, and not drop $30, $40 on some concession stand food.
No, I think that is so awesome. I mean, and I'll probably have to pick your brain at some point. I've taken over the Nashville League.
Yeah.
I never wanted to be president of a league, but at this point in time, someone had to step up, and I did. And it's tough, and like making a budget and everything else. Like there is so much that goes into that. So I have so much respect for you that you do that.
Yeah.
How does this draft work?
So the last couple of years, we've randomized the order, and depending on how the team started, they would because some teams they start with a coach, a co-coach, and then if one of those coaches has a significant other that wants to play with them. So the first round or two is really about getting to par, where everybody has either two guys and two girls. So depending on how they come into the draft, they might end up, getting skipped the first round because they have two guys and this team has two girls. And then from there, it's randomized, for once you get to that par, and then you stay in that draft order. I haven't told anybody yet, but I think this year I might do more of an NBA style lottery. I mean, we have one team that we have Nick Stokes and Jake Landry are the coaches, and there's
Two very good players.
Two very good players, and there's a little bit of a discrepancy in starting talent on the other teams.
Yeah.
So they might get one draft ball in the lottery, and the other teams get two or three, and then go from there. I'm still undecided, but I've been kicking that around, and to try to keep it again as level and competitive as we can, so that it's fun for. Fun across the board, you don't.
No, I think that's so important. I have a tryout coming up for the Merrimack League. I've never been able to play in it because of my work schedule until this year.
Yeah.
So I don't know where I'm getting drafted, but I got to do a tryout. I'm 37 years old trying out for a softball team.
You couldn't do like a highlight reel of your career?
Like, at this point, if you don't know who I am in Southern New Hampshire, I don't know what to tell you, but, no, I think that's super cool. What is the future of the league, do you think?
I would love to expand. I would love to play more nights. This year we are adding a third night. But again, a lot of that would really depend on, how things line up with the town. If I can convince somebody with money, if you're out there listening right now, you want to build us a new field up there, or donate a plot of land and I'll hand dig everything. I would love to say that it's going to continue to grow, and I want to see it to continue to grow for sure. Because I think it is a fun league, and people genuinely enjoy themselves when they come down. So again, I would love to keep adding, teams until we can, and nights until, the city says that's enough, Kyle.
No, I have to say you've done an excellent job promoting it and keeping it out there. I believe you have a belt with you today.
I do
as well.
I do.
Definitely want to see this. I love this. Absolutely love this idea. This goes to the winning team.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. Colin, can you get a close up of this? Now, does this get passed around? Do people get to hold on to this for the year?
So the first year the belt went with the winning team, and it's actually sitting in the business.
Yeah.
Last year, because of cost, we ended up keeping it. And they all took pictures with it and stuff and whatnot. And then this year, depending on how our fundraiser goes, I'd like to be able to give the belt to the winning team and just replace it. I mean, Pro-Am's treated us pretty well as far as discount wise, as being a repeat customer. So I'm hoping to do that this year.
No, I think that's so cool. We when my brother started Poutine Fest, he had the belt and it goes to the winning restaurant. And when we first started, he goes, he didn't want to give. He was going to buy one belt, never again. But with the first restaurant that won, he was like, they didn't want to give it up.
Right.
He's like, so he just buys one every year. I love that. To be honest, I might do that for the Nashville League. Maybe it's so cool.
I not as heavy into wrestling as I was as a kid, but it was cool to win the championship belt, right? I mean, watching wrestling, see them win it, or the UFC belt. Now I'm kind of more into that, but yeah, just winning that championship belt, it's definitely a cool idea. Obviously, I didn't come up with it, but I like it. I like it to use it.
What I really like to see with different leagues, and some of the ideas I've come up with for this year for Nashville, some people liked them, some people didn't. I said, let's start a YouTube channel or something. I think anything that you can do to make your league different is a good thing.
Yeah. And any way you can kind of create visibility for that. I mean, believe it or not, I know that you did the color commentary for games and stuff while you were filming.
Oh, so much fun.
And see, I like that. I mean, I do it like in game and kind of like the big brother and poke at people a little bit and try to keep it loose and fun. But that's a cool idea. But we live streamed, and we have players that had family in California, and they they're older, their kids are older. They got to watch their adult kids play, softball again, or so. And there's a lot of people that do that. I mean, you see it now with like Smash It Sports and stuff. There's a lot of people tuned into some of these games, and not that Franklin is going to garner the attention. But again, like any type of positive energy you can bring to it, why not get that exposure?
No, I love that, and I think anything you do different. But people love actually going back and watching their game, or people love to be like, I got tagged in a softball picture. They love that stuff,
right. And it's always good too if you that person jumping out of the box, they stumble and fall, and you got people going back and saying, "Oh, watch 332 of the game," and not that you want to be reminded of that, but again, it's all in good nature and good fun, and
I totally agree. I mean, have there been times where I've taken things a little too seriously? Probably. I think everybody has, but at the end of the day, softball is it's fun to be around. It's social time, and it's just fun.
Yeah.
Now, I do want to ask this. We talked about it. I know you messaged me about it. Maybe a potential all-star game. I thought it was cool if maybe Franklin and Nashua did something, because there are going to be people in your league that never see people in my league. I don't know. I think that'd be a kind of a cool idea to do.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I mean, me and you had kind of gone back a little bit. I saw the show where you referenced it. And yeah, no, I think, again, anytime you can get some exposure, and not only that, I think that's where you sign up for that competitive nature, right? I mean, obviously you want to have a fun game with that, but that's, you're going to have like some top competitors against top competitors, and kind of see where we stack up, and again, maybe it's a little bit more exposure for people that play in Worlds or something, but no, I love the idea, and I talked to the people in my league and they seemed pretty excited about it as well. So
Yeah. And we had our league meeting. You can actually find this because I live streamed it.
Yeah. That's awesome though.
We had some people loving the idea. I had one team, they just were not that interested, but I think we could have something cool. I don't know where we'd have it. I don't know, because obviously we're not in the same area.
Right.
Or if maybe one league hosts one year, the other league hosts the next. We kind of talked about it, and I'm thinking maybe something after the season in October.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that off air. But I think that would be something really cool.
Oh, I think it'd be a blast. And again, it just, that whole, expanding that softball community, again, some exposure. And I think it'd be good for both leagues too, and again, live stream it, two color commentators kind of going.
That would actually be awesome.
Yeah, right, So, I mean, I think it'd be a really good time. And again, watch some talented people play some ball, and, I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I think it'd be a blast. And again, I love the expansion of softball that I'm seeing across the state, and I give you a lot of credit for that. We have one fan comment from one Richard Lapointe. He just said, "Oh boy."
Yeah, Rich is interesting. He's a good dude, and he's fun. He's always willing to have a good time at the games and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, it would, it'd be a fun time. And I think again too, if you talk about the All-Star game and you have people like that come down and keep it fun, keep it entertaining,
I go way back. Rich used to hate. I'm pretty sure Rich used to hate me at one point.
Yeah.
We had my social sports. Well, it was NHSSC back then, the Batwings, and we'd always win the Merrimack League or whatever. And Rich, I remember one time. This goes back years ago. Rich said something on social media, like attacking us. I was like, okay, we're the bad guy. I'm like, and I think this is when we lost.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, you guys finally lost, blah, blah, a bunch of babies. And I go, I didn't even say anything. I just left. He's like, well, not you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe you shouldn't. I love Rich, but I'm like, dude, maybe not write that post, dude.
Right, and single everybody out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very funny that that's how our friendship started. And then, obviously, we're adults. We don't need to argue about a rec sport.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
So,
yeah.
I want to get into pop culture. Hot topic going on. We talked about this off air with Nick, who is runs the studio. Will Smith smacks Chris Rock at the Oscars. Now, I think we both talked about it. I didn't even know the Oscars were on.
No clue.
Until this happened. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. There's a part of me that wants to believe it. Is Jake Paul, Tyrone Woodley too? A little bit of showmanship and maybe staged. I mean, I don't know. But if it's not, I mean, even if it was staged and nobody knows, I mean, I think it's probably a bad example. I mean, that's how you handle your stuff. And at the end of the day, like he didn't seem offended. Like he was laughing along with it, and then kind of glances over at her, and then the mood shifts. So, and again, I mean, I get defending your family and your wife, but time and place. I mean, on live TV, probably not a good look. And again, I think it sets that bad example for whoever's watching it. And even if you're not watching it, I mean the recourse now is everybody's seeing it everywhere. Kids' social media, that they see that's the way to go about things. But if it was me or you that did that, we're getting cuffed.
Bigger repercussions.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, part of me thought it was funny, part of me thought it was staged, part of me is like embarrassed for the situation, especially with him going on and winning the award. But Chris Rock's ticket sales are up. I think he I think he just sold out Boston.
I
mean,
give him a little money.
right. I mean, just sold out Boston. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's just not a good look. That's all.
Yeah, and I had one of my old college professors posted online, and I know we've talked about this on the show where people are like, liberal professors are the big problem with a lot of things, but she had wrote like, this is toxic masculinity and all, and I said, I don't agree with that at all. I think Will's suffering from some mental health issues, and as someone that myself has suffered from that in times in my life, I understand that he's been mocked for years since she had the affair.
Yeah,
Something, I'm not, I wrote this on the comment, and I was like, I'm not justifying. I'm saying like, this guy's got some problems going on.
right. Yeah, and I mean, I think it's not even just his wife, and like we talked about it off air, but there's been a lot of issues surrounding his kids, and the way the media portrays them or treats them. But yeah, I mean, he like overnight became a laughingstock, and at the end of the day, that's nobody's business. And unfortunately, he's in a business where you're in the limelight. Like everything is public detail, especially now with the internet. Like, and it probably shouldn't be. I mean, there should be barriers in everything, and there should probably be topics that are off limits. But that's not the juicy story that sells, and creates ratings. So.
No, very true. I mean, he's been mocked, and I had posted something where I'm like, and I feel like this. I don't think we take mental health seriously, not just for men, but for women as well. But I had posted something about they made him a meme when he cried, and someone kind of said, well, you did that with Jordan too. I go, Jordan was crying tears of joy. He was getting the Medal of Freedom.
Right.
He wasn't crying that his wife had an affair on him.
Right.
So
big difference.
Red Sox starting soon. I guess one question I want to ask you is, what do you think of another strike? Not exactly the same, but baseball's just not figuring this stuff out.
For me personally, anytime somebody goes on strike like that, any sport, it's to me kind of disgusting. And I don't necessarily mean from a player standpoint. If that's what they're worth, I'm not going to devalue them. I'll let the ownership do that. But like when ownership and them can't get on the same page, and the only thing it detracts from is the fan. I mean, it doesn't. What does it do to a player? I mean, a player's still got endorsement deals, and a good handful of them make serious cash. But it just, personally, I think it sets the game back, and again, just the fact that they can't get together and find a common ground, for the fan, is kind of upsetting,
I mean, I think we're similar ages. I mean, we lived through 1994, and, I was a kid, so I was already just jumping back into baseball, but I know there was a lot of people that didn't. It took them a while to get the fans back.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you saw a lot of empty stadiums, and again, I guess it's just building that trust. I mean, a lot of baseball purists, like, I don't know, they're not. I don't want to say they're not cool with it, but I mean, the purists see that as a slap in the face. And then the everyday person, like they might not be going to the games anyways, or they just lose interest because of that. It just puts a black eye on it, or they're teaching their kids life lessons or whatever, and they don't end up back, and again, a black eye for the game. I mean, it's nice to see they got it done, fairly quickly this time around, but
it could have been very bad
yes.
if they weren't ready to play in April, to be quite frank. I don't like Manfred.
No.
I always ragged on Bud Selig, and I go, man, I wish Bud Selig was back.
Right.
I don't know how bad it could actually get with this guy.
Right.
I want a commissioner that likes the sport.
Right.
Any early predictions for the Red Sox? I mean, we got Jackie Bradley Jr. coming back home.
I mean, I think they have potential on paper to be a deep playoff team. The only thing that always scares me with the Sox, especially lately, is the pitching. And I mean, Chris Sale, great pitcher, outstanding talent, but it just kind of reminds me of a boxer that's taken it on the chin too many times. It's like, broken rib, surgeries. Like, is he going to be back, and is he going to be fully healthy? And if so, for how long? But if they can figure the pitching out, I think they have a really potent offense again, and definitely put some runs up.
They looked good last year. Obviously, I didn't think it was a World Series year or anything like that. Yeah, I'm thinking. I'm glad that we got our coach back.
Yeah,
a quick question too. I want to ask you this. I'm going to the Hall of Fame induction for David Ortiz. He's going in. Do you have any favorite moments of David Ortiz at all?
Honestly, we'd be here all day. He is, I definitely love Ortiz from, a player standpoint, and even just being bigger than the game. His personality is somebody that, he's like baseball Shaq for me. Him hitting bombs and winning, him winning clutch games, man. There's so many of them, but yeah, no, him just hitting bombs in clutch situations is my fondest memory, and bringing us, hardware home, helping bring hardware home,
I want that statue, and I want it now. All right, John Henry, I want a statue of David Ortiz right now. I want him to enjoy that while he's still alive. I don't know when the Ted Williams one went up, but I do believe David Ortiz is the greatest Red Sox of all time.
Yeah, I would agree with that, especially from, again, like the personality standpoint, and he is who he is. He's not. I don't think he turns it on for cameras. He seems very cordial after games and stuff, and there have been times signing autographs, and there's several Sox that I can name that wasn't the case. When I was young, I had Roger Clemens ask me if I had $50, like at a game, to sign an autograph of baseball, and I'm like 8 years old. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So
Ortiz would have been like, yeah, give me the ball, kid.
Right, exactly. Yeah, but I would agree with that. I'm a huge Ortiz fan.
I actually have a story like that too. Tim Naring, I don't know if you remember Tim Naring.
Yeah.
Me and my brother Tim, we got up to the field and we were so excited. I'll be honest. When you see Fenway Park as a kid, it is like, man, the most unbelievable thing you've ever seen.
For sure.
And Tim Naring's right there. We're like, Tim, can you sign our ball? And he goes, no. That was it. He just said straight up no. We're the only two kids there. He ended up getting hurt the next year, but it was kind of like, man, I don't know. I might have been like 7 and being like, wow, that sucked.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's definitely plenty of those examples. But, there's some, Trot, he would always stay after games and sign balls for kids, out back where they parked. Nomar was another one that was really good about, getting out there after almost every game and signing. But, yeah, there's definitely those guys that, it's like, this ball, just sign it. It's not going to be worth anything, Tim.
Yeah, I'm sorry you're a big star, Tim Naring.
Right.
Are you happy to see Malcolm Butler back with the Patriots, or is this kind of like just not a non-story?
I think it's more of a non-story. I like Butler, or I liked him when he was a Patriot. It's great to have him back, but where we talk about like the mental health issues, I know he had some stuff going on when he was leaving Foxborough. He up and retires on the Cardinals because he lost a starting job. So, if his mind's in the right place, and again, I'm probably making assumptions off of what we've been force-fed as well, through the media. But, I liked him in his stint. He didn't really seem to get in trouble, wasn't in the news for all the negative reasons. But I don't think he's going to be a contributing factor.
Yeah, I don't really either.
Yeah.
I have to say, and someone went online and was like, I know why he didn't start against the Eagles in the Super Bowl, and something, I don't remember what it was, but I guess I didn't really listen to it because I was like, no, you don't.
Right. You
we're never going to know.
Right.
Belichick's never going to let that out. All right, I want to get in top 5s, one of my favorite segments of the show. Do you have a top 5 favorite movies?
I would say not really. I guess it would be, I'm a real big movie fan, and it's, I don't get into critiquing them too much. I have my favorites, the Reservoir Dogs and stuff, and I like The Town and Departed, but I think it's more for like what time of year it is, and St. Patty's Day. I mean, we always watch Boondock Saints 1 and 2 together as a family. We eat. So that's it's a moment for us as a family. Christmas time. We watch all of them, but Home Alones and Die Hard, definitely a Christmas movie. So I think it's more about moments, and the new Spider-Man movie. I enjoyed that. I've never been a huge Spider-Man fan, but that movie was done well. But yeah, I like too many to be like, all right, here's
Just
5.
to narrow it down.
Right.
I do love Home Alone, and Boondock Saints was a great movie. What about TV shows?
Right now I like Yellowstone. In the past I'd say things like Shameless, Sons of Anarchy. I'd say like 1 through 6 seasons of The Walking Dead. But after that, it's The Walking Repeat.
We had an argument the other day at softball. I don't know if you know Kendra and Jose. They're a married couple. They play mostly in Manchester. I'm blanking on their last name or how to say it. But I said to Jose, I said, yeah, I'm all about Breaking Bad right now. As people can probably see, I'm rocking a Heisenberg shirt. But I was like, yeah, it's a masterpiece. Breaking Bad is one. And he goes, no, it went on for too long. I go, no, it was 5 seasons. He was confused. He goes, no, it's Walking Dead. That's the crappy show.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah.
Yeah, no, and me and my wife enjoyed Breaking Bad. I I like Ozarks.
Oh, God. I don't know if you've seen the trailer today.
Oh, no.
You're going to want to I don't want to see this, yeah.
But then again, it's kind of about like moments, like what draws the family together. Whether it's The Mandalorian, or the shows like WandaVision and stuff, and the Marvel Network. My kids they both like those shows. So, just creating that family moment.
Yeah. Understandable. Do you have a top 5 favorite athletes?
I have a top 4 and a revolving door.
Okay.
I'd say Brady, Shaq, Ortiz, Cam Neely, and then that 5th again is about kind of moments in my life of where I've been at that moment. When we were kids, we all played sports, and regardless of what it was, we were that guy. Whether it was Mark McGuire and Frank Thomas. So it's kind of like, it's like that for me. When I was younger, I would have said Bo Jackson. I loved Bo Jackson.
Probably the best athlete ever.
Yeah,
if he didn't get hurt.
Right. Prime, Deion Sanders, 2 sports. But yeah, I like to leave that last one kind of open for how I'm feeling in the moment.
No, I think anybody that lives in this area, Brady's going to be on your list, and Ortiz is definitely going to be on your list. Now, you said you used to like wrestling, not as much anymore. Do you have a top 5 favorite wrestlers?
I do. Ish, again. We got, I would say, for me, as a kid, Hogan, Austin, Rock, Undertaker. And then that 5th is probably, again, like where I was at in life. As a kid, Ultimate Warrior, Macho Man, huge, personalities. The whole ECW phase, Sabu, and right. So again, like that 5th one is kind of like an open-ended. Like right now, I'd probably say, Triple H or Brock. I think Brock has been a huge lifeline. Again, I haven't watched it as much, but I will watch clips of him, or I did watch like his match in the Elimination Chamber because it's Brock, and like
I love Brock Lesnar.
and he seems to be pulling off, like, he was a great heel, but as a face, like, it's, I don't want to see you say the true Brock, but he's kind of funnier and more out there than he was. And I think, besides being an introvert, like, that's who he is. He likes to hunt. He likes, cutting meat up. He likes like farming.
He just wants to be on a farm and wrestle his matches.
Right.
I do have 2 questions here too. Do you still watch WrestleMania every year? Like I've been on a bunch of podcasts lately, and I'm like, that's a holiday for me.
Yeah.
And do people that don't follow it all the time still really be like, yeah, that's the Super Bowl wrestling I want to watch?
I think it's more for me depends on who's in there. Like I've heard grumblings of Austin, like being part of it this year.
Yep,
So
he is. Yep.
that for me kind of makes me want to watch. And again with the Brock, Rhonda coming back was kind of lackluster for me. I don't think she does what the expectation is for ratings. I mean, personally, I don't, and maybe it's because she started outside and came into the wrestling world. But yeah, I wouldn't say religiously, no. Only if my interests are piqued.
Yeah, because I go on a couple wrestling shows. I go on Wrestling Fans Unhinged on Friday nights.
Yeah.
Check out Kendall's YouTube channel. And people were like, yeah, I don't. I'm like, I'm a diehard wrestling fan. I'm not missing WrestleMania for anything. And they're like, yeah, I'm not sure I'm going to watch because it's just the card's not good. I go, it's WrestleMania.
Right.
You're on a wrestling talk show and you're telling me you might not watch all of WrestleMania? Like,
yeah, that's a little suspect. I don't know about that. Like if that's what your show's based around. Yeah.
like you would think, like, come on.
Right. At least for your own topic of your next shows, that you would have like that intel and a.
I have to say, no one hates wrestling more than actual wrestling fans. It's kind of funny,
Yeah.
But no, and I liked Hogan. One other thing I just want to say is I rewatched WrestleMania 8 the other day. I went on a show to talk about what I thought was WrestleMania 8, but actually it was WrestleMania 12. Good thing I know that one pretty well. So I rewatched 8, which was the wrong one to watch. And holy crap, Hulk Hogan was so over.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think that's the allure for me as a kid and as I remember it. Like he just, he commanded the audience, and he was a showman. He wasn't the greatest on the mic, and he definitely wasn't the most athletic or like technique sound wrestler. But again, it kind of came down to that bigger than life personality, the commanding the crowd, the finger wag and so, and I think that's why he's on, kind of my Mount Rushmore, because I know how I felt when I was a kid watching it.
I'll be honest, when Undertaker beat him at Survivor Series, I cried my eyes out.
Yeah.
And going back and watching and just being like, no, those crowds were hot for all he does, and they're going nuts.
Yeah.
Want to get into my favorite segment of the show, which is blank versus blank. I'm going to give you two things. You got to pick one, but you got to tell me why. First one, and this is going to be a tough one because they're both in your top 5. You got to only keep one, David Ortiz or Tom Brady?
Brady.
Okay.
Brady. And I think so for me, like I had a younger brother that passed away, so it brings me back to sharing that moment of like winning the first Super Bowls and that, being together as a family. And me and my other brother right now we're kind of estranged, so it's kind of happier times from that standpoint to me. The times the Sox won, we did go to the parades, but I don't think I was living in the house at that point in time, and so we didn't like have time to connect to watch it, and it's drawn out over however many games. But yeah, that's why I would say Brady.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Good answer. Honestly, both of them have given us so much to be happy about.
Right.
All right. Here's a really tough one. I ask everybody this. New England Patriots had a 20-year span of success. Who's more responsible, Brady or Belichick?
Dude, like for some reason I envisioned you asking me this. And I hate this question. And the reason why I hate it is because I don't think we do that with any other quarterback coach combo ever. Like, we don't separate Montana from Walsh or Shula and Marino. I personally don't think that Bill has the success that he does if he doesn't have Brady. Is that a two-way street for Brady? I don't know. His like determination and work ethic, I think would have pushed him over. But it also had to line up. Like, if he goes to, like, the Browns or something, like, you're not going to have this career.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, I don't like to separate them. I mean, I think what they had was magic, and, you know, they both played a part. But I do think that Brady could have won, and I think that we kind of proved that, could have won elsewhere. But I am excited to see what Mac Jones does and what the Patriots do from here, and, you know, what the next 20 years are like.
I'm with you. I mean, I love Mac Jones. I'm on the Mac Jones. You know, I ordered that jersey immediately when you could.
Yeah.
But I'm a homer.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I had a Cam Newton jersey too. So, would you rather watch TV or movies?
Do streaming TV shows count? Like, say, Ozarks?
Yes. Yep. Which I can't wait until it's back.
Oh, man. I'm gonna say movies. I mean, I think we've definitely gone more towards, like, streaming TV shows and stuff. You know, where they can extend the storylines and kind of bait you in, but give it to you at one time. Not like TV, where it's like, here's a piece, here's a piece.
Netflix has made TV so much better.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait week to week.
Yeah.
And thank you to my brother Bobby, because I use his Netflix. Michael Jordan or LeBron James?
Man, you, like, saved the tough ones for last. I think they're both the best of their era. I mean, I think LeBron James catches a lot of slack for, I mean, a lot of things, and some of it's probably warranted, but, I mean, he is an athletic freak. And to be doing what he does at, what is he, 90 now? I mean,
I'm 3 months older than him.
Yeah.
So he's 37, which everybody's like, oh, he's so, I'm like, calm down. Calm
Yeah.
down.
and I mean, you know, the length of time that he's done it, and, you know, the pressure coming, like, Jordan didn't have that pressure coming out of, you know, college. Like, he didn't face, I mean, this kid faced that pressure since he was, like, 12 years old. And the fact that he, like, never, like, really crumbled under that, I mean, I think it says a lot for his character, and you don't read about him in negative, you know, storylines, other than maybe, you know, his political beliefs. But you could go either way with that.
I think it's a bad rap. I hated him when he went to the Heat. I really, really, really did. I also knew that's when it was over for the Celtics.
Yeah.
Where I was like, oh, God, they have a big three, but they're, like, younger. Hated him then. When he went back to Cleveland, I was like, man, that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool what he did there. The people of Cleveland have suffered. Okay?
right. Yeah, I mean, I didn't like the special. That is what killed me when he, like, taking my talents to South Beach. That really was like,
when he did the special.
Where's your PR guy? Where is he?
Like, the money did go to the Boys and Girls Club, which I really love. At the same time, I thought that was a shoo-in that he was going back to Cleveland.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're doing a special? This is like your ode to Cleveland. And then when he said he was going to Miami, I went, oh, what a dick.
Right.
Recently, the Foo Fighters drummer Trevor passed away. But Foo Fighters or Nirvana, Dave Grohl's two big bands.
I'm going to go more Nirvana. Yeah. Just, I don't know, just where that music was when I was at that age, I guess.
I'm sorry, Taylor. Did I say Trevor?
You did.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I just roll with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think more Nirvana. Yeah. Well, I was never a huge Foo Fighters fan.
Both are just I mean, they're both Hall of Fame bands.
Oh, for sure.
All right, toughest one in blank versus blank. These are two very good players in your league, but you can only have one. Brian Borelli or Sam Borelli? Or Ken Borelli?
Is it Brian with boobs or without boobs? No. I don't. That's another tough one. I mean, they're both very versatile players, and, you know, they hit well, and when they're not all riled up, or dad's not yelling at him. I mean, oh man.
We don't put your feet to the fire here.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go. It's a tie. I'm gonna go with a tie. I'm gonna go with, if the ship is sinking, I'm figuring out how to save them both. I'm doing something.
I do think it's really cool, and I'm almost like a little bit jealous. I wish I could have played with my dad more. I think we played once. I got to play with him one season ever.
Yeah, I mean that dynamic is cool. Ken isn't playing in our league this year. I think he's kind of taken a step back from doing so much. I mean, he's been go for so long. But no, I mean I'm super excited about that. I mean my kids are 13 and 14. And I'm looking forward to that. You coach them for a while. I mean, I didn't get to play with my father much. I mean, I think it was a season in Hudson, and then he took a line drive the next year and ended up off his fingers and tore all his ligaments in his three fingers. But I mean, it was a cool experience while I had it.
Yeah.
So that dynamic is really cool, and I'm excited for my time to come with my kids.
So don't take that for granted, Borelli brothers. That's a cool thing.
Yeah, for sure. Even when he's riding you, I mean, it's cool to have dad there, and I mean, it says a lot that he's still there for his kids, and he wants to do that.
Yeah, no, I really like that, and love what you guys are doing up there. I appreciate you expanding softball across the state. We'll talk about this All-Star game. I think that's gonna be a good time. But Kyle, I really appreciate you coming on the show. This has been a blast.
I appreciate you having me. It was fun. I mean, I didn't have as many nerves as I thought I was going to.
We try to keep it easy.
Yeah.
But everybody out there, keep your heads up. Have a great week, and until next time, let freedom ring.